week was Pinterest week. You created your first 3 Pinterest boards, and this week is body image week. Okay, so I'm hoping you've got your printed workbooks. I need you to have a pen and then 2 different colors this week, so colored pencils. And then I need you to turn all your stuff off, like always, just so that you're completely undistracted. Now, I want to ask you, how are you guys feeling about this week, about body image week? Yeah. Okay, so I've got curious, I've got feeling good, I've got a bit nervous, kind of dreading it. Goliath, no, Barbara. Alrighty, now I know that each one of you will be in a really different place when it comes to the way you think and feel about your body. Some of you might be really struggling deeply with this stuff. Some of you might have done a lot of work in this area already, and there might be a couple of you that have already ended the war on your body. But wherever you're at, I just want you still to dig into this week, regardless, you know, of where you're at in that area. Okay. So you might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable about this week. You might be thinking it's boring or pointless, or you might be wondering, why the heck is Clarissa making me deal with all this body image stuff when I just want to figure out my personal style? Other stylists don't do this. And you know what? Like, you're right. Other stylists don't do this because it's putting you above the clothes, and because it can be messy and it can be hard and it might make you cry a bit, and it's far deeper than most women are willing to go, stylist included. But regardless, I want you to go there. I want you to be brave and courageous and get yourself onto the right path so that you can figure some of this stuff out before we even touch the clothes. This isn't about makeovers, okay? It's far more important to me that Brand Yourself Beautiful helps you experience the kind of transformation that starts deep inside of you, not the other way around. Now, we've already started the process over the last couple of weeks as we've been exploring what is beautiful to you and what it is you want to be able to say through your clothes. This week, we're going to start looking at the relationship you have with your body, because accepting and appreciating your body for what she is right now is really important. And without it, finding your unique personal style is going to be really difficult for you. And one of the most amazing ways for you to be able to find your unique personal style begins with looking and seeing and understanding the relationship you have with your body, so that you can accept her as your canvas and use style as a tool to love her and not to hate her. And honestly, this is one of the most crucial weeks in the entire program, because you cannot dress a body you hate. You can't even dress a body you don't like. And you can't dress a body you ignore. Research says that 97% of women will be cruel to their bodies today. And that is just a shocking statistic. You know, so things like, you're fat, you're a fat, worthless pig, you're too scrawny, you'll never be beautiful, no man will ever love you when you look like that, you're too ugly and gross, you have a hunchback. These words sound like horrifying comments from some website or the rant of an abusive husband. But no, these are the words women confess to saying to themselves every single day. For some women, ugly thoughts like these come and go quickly, but for others, this is the narrative that plays on a constant punishing loop. As we've gone through life, we've collected ideas about how a woman's body is supposed to look, and those ideas have become second nature to us. But unlike a bowerbird who only collects the most beautiful things she can find, we've collected some really ugly ideas about body image. By paying attention to those automatic thoughts and feelings, by making decisions about whether they are empowering you or disempowering you, and then finding solutions, that's what we're going to work on this week. So there is a quote by Rumi which just so deeply expresses the gift I hope to be able to give to you through Brand Yourself Beautiful. And it says, I have come to drag you out of yourself and take you in my heart. I've come to bring out the beauty you never knew you had and lift you like a prayer to the sky. We have been branded as either not enough or too much through practically every message we've ever received since we were little girls. Thank you, all of human society. We're not pretty enough, we're not skinny enough, we're not tall enough, not smart enough, not disciplined enough, not patient enough, not sweet enough, not whatever enough. But then at the same time, we're too emotional, we're too messy, we're too sexy, we're too strong, we're too loud, we're too independent, we're too passionate, we're too opinionated. We're constantly confronted with the voice of a world telling us that not only are we failing at what we do, we are failing at who we are. And so we try harder to be more, to be enough, to achieve enough, to do enough, to keep up. But when it comes to our beauty, it's different. It hurts, it haunts us. We respond knowingly or unknowingly by hiding ourselves behind the extra weight or the big baggy clothes or the layers of black or the thick makeup or attempt at contouring our faces like the ladies do on YouTube, even though we completely suck at it. And we dim the lights. There might even be times when we shut the door on beauty altogether, throw up our hands in the air and give up, robbing the world of everything good and glorious inside of us that is seriously just busting to get out and shine bright like a diamond. And as comfortable as our messy bun, our tracksuit pants, and our 365-year-old t-shirt is, and despite the pain that beauty has caused so many of us, deep down inside, we still long for it. Because beauty is one of the most healing, most powerful, most misunderstood aspects of our femininity. And it matters so much to us. And to get a little bit spiritual on you for a moment, I believe with every fiber of my being that God created beauty as a gift to us because he loves us so deeply. And he wants us to receive that gift because beauty is one of the most powerful ways that we can experience him. God is beauty. And I believe that he wants us to look for those little traces of heaven and find him in it, not only in the world around us, but in ourselves. So please use this week as an opportunity to reflect on and reject everything society has branded you with. And I want you to start branding yourself as beautiful instead. So let's begin by taking a closer look at the quiet conversations you're having with your body. What's the narrative you're having with her? What kind of language do you use to describe her? Now, I want you to get out your workbook for this week, along with your 2 pretty colored pencils. And then on the bodies provided, I want you to color the parts of your body you like and then the parts you don't like, starting with the front and then the back and then the side. And can I just say up front too, bodies come in lots of lovely, lovely, beautiful shapes and sizes, and the body here is a really crappy representation of that, and I'm sorry, but it's just practical. So I'm sorry. Now, once you've done the coloring in, I want you to use a pen and then write the first word that pops into your head to describe each one of the body parts that you've just colored. So to help you get started, here's what mine probably would have looked like a couple of years ago. So the pink colouring in is what I would have liked, and the green colouring in is what I wouldn't have liked. So I thought I had kind of cute ears, hated my nose, hated my droopy boobs from breastfeeding 4 babies, hated my stomach, fat stomach, 0 waistline, hairy arms thanks to my dad, but nice ballet hands and feet and good thick hair, which drives me mad. So to get out your 2 color pencils, and then I want you to get started. I'll give you a few minutes just to color in the parts that you like and then the parts that you don't like. Again, starting front, back, side. And then on the areas where you just feel neutral about, meaning you don't like them, but you don't really not like them, then I just want you to leave those areas blank. And you know what too, like if you feel the urge to color your whole body in, you don't like color, then that's okay too. I just want you to be really honest with where you're at. Yeah, okay. And while you do that too, I just want you to know that no one's going to see this, all right? I'm not gonna get you to hold it up like I have with some of your other worksheets. This is completely yours. This is private, okay? So this is just for you. So I'm just gonna give you some time to do that now. If you're feeling a bit anxious about doing this, or if you feel sad or disappointed, I want you to know that that's completely normal. Seeing your feelings towards your body displayed visually like this can be really confronting. But remember that this is the path to accepting your body, to loving your body, to dressing her in a way that feels beautiful and empowering and brings you confidence. So just keep that in mind, that that's why we're here. Okay, now I want to introduce you to a little concept I learned by business mentor, personal stylist, Instagramming goddess, Hilary Rushford, which she calls the 150% mirror. So here's what it looks like. Most of us have at least one problem area that we fixate on. And when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we see that area of our body blown up to 150% when the rest of the world sees it at 100. So to put it more bluntly, the way you see yourself in the mirror is not reality. But without reality, you'll never be able to dress yourself well, even the parts that you love. So one of the biggest mistakes women make when it comes to their 150% is that they're either standing in the mirror, throwing imaginary daggers at the one area they hate, or they're ignoring that area completely and then dressing themselves in denial. The wonderful thing is, though, that once you've become aware of your 150%, you can notice it, challenge it, and change it. Now, of course, I have my 150% mirror too. Just because I teach it doesn't make me perfect at this. So my 150% is my mummy tummy. It's grown rounder and softer with every one of my 4 babies as they wondrously enter the world. And it makes me feel like I've slipped straight out of care a lot with my big round tummy covered in fluff and rainbows. Now, the truth is, I know I don't have a perfectly fat tummy. I'm not crazy or delusional about that, but I also know that my tummy is way more exaggerated in my eyes than it is in the eyes of everybody else. And that's because when I look at myself in the mirror, all I see is my tummy. But when others look at me, they're seeing the big, beautiful, happy whole of me. So they're not just zoning in on that one area like I am. Now, do you girls feel comfortable to write in the chat box what is your 150%? I just want to open up this conversation because I feel like it's something we shouldn't be embarrassed about because it's a struggle for all of us, okay? So if you feel like you can just pop in the chat box, what's the one part of your body that you fixate on when you look in the mirror? Is it your stomach, your stretch marks, your, not so muscular arms, your bum? Evie is belly and arms. Tina is my sister when it comes to the tummy. Yeah, like we've all got it. Like I actually don't know a woman that doesn't. Barbara's thighs and cellulite. Gladys is flat bottom from sitting all the time. Killy's boobs, thighs, arms, face, wrinkles. Leah, boobs too small. Thank you, girls. Thank you for being brave to share that. I just feel like if we're sharing this stuff, it kind of releases us, and it helps us see that we've all got these struggles, like we've all got them. And the silly thing is that I would not have known any of those things about you girls. Like I just look at you girls, and although I haven't seen all of you in real life, the few of you that I have seen in real life, like I would never have imagined that. So just get that into your head too, that that's true for you too, that nobody is looking at those things that you are fixating on. So this is my little miracle girl, and she loves her body. She could spend hours looking at herself in the mirror, kissing herself. She actually does that. She kisses herself in the mirror. She spends hours playing with her hair and her glitter spray and her nail polish and trying all her clothes on at once with her fairy wings and her flowers and her tutus and her tiaras. Now I know that my little one is a very girly girl. But I just want to ask you the question, were you ever like that? Maybe not in this degree, but do you remember a time where you didn't even notice what anyone thought of you because you were far too busy being free and happy and excited just to be alive? Don't you just wish that you could feel that kind of delight towards your body whenever you looked at her in the mirror? Wish you could accept her, like her, and oh my goodness, like even love her. Don't you wish you could see her as the most miraculous gift you've ever been given because she is the thing that allows you to live the most miraculous life possible. Wish you could appreciate her for allowing you to go running and racing and rollerblading and chasing and dancing and kissing and hugging and baby making and all of those other things you do every single day, even though you're probably being a big fat jerk to her. Now, I love this quote by Nina Garcia that says, "I'm fascinated by the imperfect icons. The girls who by far are not the most beautiful girls in the room, but are confident and think they're beautiful, so others think they're beautiful too. I'm attracted to the 6 foot tall women in stilettos, a big bottomed woman in a curve hugging skirt, a flat chested woman in a tight low cut t-shirt. When a woman embraces her imperfections, they can become her greatest strength, definers of her character and spirit. When she plays up her weaknesses and draws you to her flaws, she makes them special, attractive, and even enviable." I just want you to look at some of these women who have flaunted what society would label as imperfections, weaknesses, or flaws. So I'm going to go from left to right. Look at Iris Apfel, and she is a fashion icon at the age of 96. Look at Winnie Harlow, the beauty with vitiligo. Look at Barbara Streisand, the superstar with the gorgeous Grecian nose. Look at Frida Kahlo, the artist with one eyebrow. Look at Vanessa Paradis, the everything lady with her adorable gapped tooth smile. Look at Rebel Wilson, the actress with the killer curves. Look at Tyra Banks, the supermodel who broke the rules on dark skin. Look at Sarah Jessica Parker, the actress accused of looking like a horse by the media. Look at Amy Schumer, the comedian smashing today's beauty ideals. Wouldn't you love to be able to embrace your imperfections, your weaknesses, your flaws, or whatever it is that you want to call them, and turn them into your greatest strengths like this? Look at these gorgeous ladies. They have been captured by Jade Beale, a world-renowned photographer who specializes in truly honest, real, and raw images of women. Her heart is to be able to inspire in women a feeling of being irreplaceably beautiful as the flip side to the airbrushed, photoshopped images that dominate our mainstream media. She creates these exquisite, untouched photos of women, and then she writes about their story and about their journey towards building a healthy body image in a world that is literally thriving off their insecurity. Look at the stories that are being told through the bodies of these women. We can see their glow, their essence, their magnetism, and their joy, but we can also see their pain and their anger, their confusion and their brokenness, but it's all beautiful. Look at the babies they've grown and birthed and nourished, the stretch marks, the scars, the cancer, the love. Look at the way these photographs celebrate the women our culture has told us not to celebrate. This is the gift I want you to be able to give yourselves. For the next week, you're going to be spending lots of time looking at yourself in a full-length mirror. And for some of that, you're going to be naked. I want you to get into the habit of paying attention to your body rather than ignoring her or rejecting her or hiding her in your oversized clothes. One of the most beautiful ways for you to be able to develop your unique personal style begins in the nude. It begins with looking and seeing and getting to know your body so that you can accept her as your canvas and start working with her instead of against her. You cannot improve what you don't allow yourself to see, or there'll always be that 150% mirror getting in the way. There'll be a disconnect between what you think your body looks like and what she looks like in reality. Nearly every woman I've ever worked with has had some kind of wound when it comes to her body and her beauty. I was a fashion designer for nearly 20 years, which gave me a unique fly on the wall perspective when it comes to the way a woman reacts when she is confronted with her own reflection in a fitting room. Here are just a small handful of actresses and models that I've had the delight of dressing. They are considered to be some of the most beautiful women in the world, and you'd think they would be lucky enough not to have all these dang issues, but I tell you you, I was left dumbstruck over and over by the way these women would verbally tear themselves apart in front of me, or the way they'd pull and poke and prod and squeeze the parts of their body that they didn't like when they'd see themselves in the mirror. I remember hearing years ago about how Brooke Shields confessed that when she was very young, she was flicking through a magazine whose cover she was on, and she felt this deep disappointment in herself because she thought she didn't look as beautiful as all the other models in the magazine. And I just remember being so baffled by that. I mean, Brooke Shields she was part of my childhood. I'm totally aging myself here. I idolized her. There was probably no one that I wanted to look like more than her, but she wanted to look like anyone but her. We all struggle, and that's okay. We're allowed to struggle. I don't know if it's realistic for us to be able to love our bodies 100% of the time. I think there'll probably always be moments in our lives where we look in the mirror and we don't really like what we see. Our bodies change, our metabolism changes. We get pregnant, we get soft, we get droopy, we get wrinkles, we lose our hair, we lose our teeth. Oh my goodness, I'm going to stop. But my deepest hope for you is that acceptance will be the foundation of your relationship with your body, so that if and when your body changes, which it will, it won't have the power to determine the level of your happiness. So don't be a goose and think you can get away with skipping this stuff, okay? It's really important. Now, in this next exercise, which you'll be doing the rest of this in your own time, okay? So this stuff is very personal. It's very private, okay? So I'm just going to leave you to do this. But I want to show you how you can use mindfulness when it comes to accepting your body. Again, I don't want you to presume that this is just a silly little assignment, okay? This is an incredible way for you to begin mindfully and intentionally changing the way you think and feel about your body. It's like body image bootcamp. It'll help you develop a beautiful new mindset that can be carried with you literally everywhere, particularly into the fitting rooms of the clothes stores you're going to be visiting soon. So this is setting up a really beautiful, healthy foundation for you, so that once you're in those fitting rooms, okay, you are looking at yourself as a whole and not tearing apart, you know, certain elements of your body rather than, you know, looking at the whole thing. So regardless of where you're at when it comes to your body, please do not skip this. I cannot stress this enough. This part of Brand Yourself Beautiful is very unsexy. It's very unglamorous. And it's really hard for a lot of you. For some of you, it's plain annoying. But this is what's going to set you up for success for the remainder of the program, and also with your style going forward. This is Diana Tower, and she is one of the ladies that I've worked with. She helps entrepreneurs create online communities for their flagship courses, and she is one of the funnest, weirdest, genuine, most generous people I know. And after working through this exercise with her, she shared really openly about what it was like, how it turned from major resistance to a really good time of nude selfies in the mirror. I am not joking. And the reason I want to share this with you is to help you be brave and suck it up and just do it like Diana did, okay? So here's what she said. I don't think I have ever really taken a good look at my adult body. I just walk past the mirror post-shower without even taking a peek, assuming it looked bad. Why bother confirm it by seeing it? It's safe to say that my default thoughts weren't filled with rainbows and unicorns. They were critical, harsh, and kind of bitchy. But as I worked with Clarissa, I came out of my critical, bitchy shell. The biggest shift happened when she asked me to do something unthinkable: stand naked in front of a full-length mirror. What the? Seriously, I wanted to improve my style, not get naked and cold and stare at all my jiggly bits. So I reluctantly stripped down, and I have to add in here that it took about a week for her to be able to pluck up the courage to do this. And I stood there in front of the mirror that I'd been ignoring for most of my life. And to be honest, it sucked. I kept fixating on all the negative stuff, but Clarissa told me that I had to keep looking, so I did. And then suddenly something strange started to happen. I realized I kind of liked what I saw in the mirror. What? Long story short, I ended up taking photos of my naked bod for the first time ever. Crazy. This one moment changed the way I look and feel about my body and myself forever. What a gift. These pictures here are by Lithuanian photographer Neringa Rekasuti. I cannot pronounce her name. I'm so sorry. She has created a super powerful series of photographs, which she named We Women. She wanted to be able to strip down body image issues by asking women to come face to face with their fears and insecurities by standing in their knickers in the mirror and having their photograph taken. She shares that some of the women in these pictures have struggled with bulimia, anorexia, fat shaming, skinny shaming, violence and abuse. And I know some of you have very similar stories. Some of you have really deep scars when it comes to your body. You might be like Diana, who spent her entire adult life avoiding mirrors whenever she was naked. You might be like many other women who are biased and judgmental and pretty darn bitchy whenever you're confronted with your correct reflection. You probably automatically zoom in on the parts of your body you hate, giving all the attention to your 150% and then completely ignoring the rest of you. And you probably use really mean words to describe yourself, like fat, ugly, gross, wobbly, droopy, flabby, scrawny. You might have seen the negativity of those words from the first worksheet you did. The whole ordeal is pretty mindless because you're just standing back and objectively observing your thoughts and feelings. You're reacting to them. You're allowing your mind to take control. This is how Tracy London explains a similar exercise in her book, The Truth About Style. Nobody and no body is perfect. Do not approach the mirror and hope each time that you look like somebody else. You're going to be disappointed if you do. As a body image strategy, it's a sure loser. So is ignoring the areas you dislike to make them disappear. As an alternative to delusion and self-torture, how about simple honesty? Take a realistic appraisal. Go ahead, feel disgusted, embarrassed, cranky, and bitter about the parts you hate. Keep it up for as long as you need to until you're able to look dispassionately at your body. When you can view yourself objectively, then you can begin to strategize towards the way you wish to look with the raw material that has been given to you. Notice, don't judge. Noticing is just seeing what's there. A judgment of it is what blinds us. Thick waist, big hips, small shoulders, anything, it's not a flaw. It just is. This exercise is based on some of the work of Thomas F. Cash, who is a psychologist who has spent 35 years of his career devoted to the psychology of body image. So here is what I want you to do in your own time this week. Step 1, I want you to find a time and place where you will have complete privacy, where when you are ready, I want you to take off your clothes. You can leave your bra and undies on this first time and then stand in front of a full-length mirror. Look at your reflection in the mirror. Do not zoom in on your 150%. Look at every area of your body from head to toe, front to back to side. I understand that seeing yourself like this in a full-length mirror might be uncomfortable, and this exercise might make you hate me a bit. You might hear a voice in your head expressing some pretty icky emotions like sadness or embarrassment or fear or shock or disgust or disappointment, and all those feelings suck. They cold hard suck. I mean, let's face it, there aren't many women who stare at their reflection and make a list in their heads of the things they love about themselves. But regardless, I want you to keep staring at your body. I want you to nitpick her every perceivable flaw if you must, but keep staring. Step 3, when you're ready, from head to toe, front to back to side, I want you to describe every aspect or feature of your body. Describe it out loud. Describe it objectively, no bias, no judgment, no prejudice. Describe it as you would to a forensic artist who is drawing you without having ever seen you. So I'm hoping that you girls watched the Dove video that I gave you this week. That is what I want you to do, okay? I want you to include descriptions of color, texture, shape, size, and symmetry. Do not use critical words like fat, ugly, gross, wobbly, flabby, scrawny. If you become aware that you're expressing any kind of judgment towards your body, even in the tone of your voice, then pause, take a breath, look at her again, and find a way to describe her using more objective language. Step 4. As you're doing this, I also want you to be aware of any feelings you might be experiencing the moment you look at and describe a particular part of your body. Notice your feelings and then verbalize those feelings out loud, like I'm feeling happy, or I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling like cookies. Then shift your attention to the next area of your body. And then step 5 is to finish this session by spending a minute or two silently looking at your entire reflection in the mirror, so that you're looking at your body as a whole and not in parts. So we're trying to eliminate this 150%. And then I want you to stay there until the volume of your usual negative voice has been turned down. Stay with her until you find peace. Step 6, I want you to write about the experience in your workbook. What did you see? What thoughts ran through your head? What emotions came up for you? Step 7, I want you to repeat this exact exercise again 2 days later. Repeat steps 1 to 6 in front of a full-length mirror, but this time I want you to do it naked, okay? So no bra, no undies, just you and your beautiful body making incredible steps towards acceptance, kindness, and love. And then step 8, I want you to repeat this exercise at least one more time. So I'd like you to do this 3 times in the next week. Again, do step 1 to 6, naked. And then if you feel like it's something that you want to continue doing, if you feel like you're noticing a real change in your mindset, I would encourage you just to keep doing it. Even if it's just jumping out of the shower and you're just doing this for a minute, okay? Spend more and more time in the mirror. So I have outlined this entire process for you on page 2 of this week's workbook. So everything that I've just said is on that page for you. Then on pages 3 to 5, you'll see there's plenty of space for you to write about the experience of each one of your mirror reflection sessions. So these are the 3 questions I want you to answer each time. What did you see when you looked in the mirror? What thoughts ran through your head as you looked at your reflections? And what emotions came up for you? Now, like I said, I want you to do this at least 3 times this week with a day in between each of them. But if you feel like they're really helping you, then just keep going, okay? I've popped another page there just in case you want to do it another couple of times. And again, like the first time you do it will take a lot longer, and then the second time will be a bit less. You don't need to spend as much time. Just try and find that peace, okay? And then the final thing I want you to do this week is to write a letter to your body. This is probably one of the most challenging exercises. You'll need to dig deep, and you might even drench a few tissues, and that's okay. You might find yourself, again, feeling really resistant to this, but I want you to do it anyway, because honestly, this can be a life-changing moment for you. It'll help you stop minimizing the way you treat your body through criticism and judgment and nastiness, and it'll help you focus on what you're grateful for and the things you appreciate about her. It's just a really powerful way for you to start an emotionally honest, vulnerable, and loving relationship with her. It'll help you to continue to embrace your body and celebrate her beauty and write about how amazing she is. So in your workbook, I've given you 3 pages to write your letter. On page 6 of your workbook, there's an entire page where you can, just to get you started, begin writing about your body as a whole. If you've been a big jerk to her, then you can start by apologizing, like really apologizing. And then as you feel ready, you can thank her for the gift that she is to you. On page 7, 8, and 9 of your workbook, I've created little headings for each of the smaller parts of your body. Again, I want you to apologize to each part if you've been mean to her, and then write words of gratitude and appreciation and kindness. And praise the pants off the body parts you love. I am not insinuating that you're going to feel negatively about every part of your body. Okay, so for those areas, just go all out. Praise, be praising and grateful and all that good stuff. And then be sure to hide your letter away somewhere safely, so that when you have a negative thought about your body, you can just reread it and give yourself a whole heap of perspective. All right, so that is it for